Hi there, my name is Jim Armstrong from GetBusyMedia.com. I am here tonight to share with you Steve Jobs' biography written by Walter Isaacson. As many of you know, this just came out a couple of months ago, shortly after Steve Jobs passed away in early October of this year. And I thought I'd share with you some of my thoughts in the book and what I thought of it and kind of some of the top line insights I pulled from it. Obviously, many people are blogging about this. Many people have read this. It's one of the top selling books on Amazon.com right now. But I really learned a ton about Jobs, and I've done a good amount of reading into his background. And Isaacson does an absolutely amazing job of digging into his life from the beginning, through his relationships at Apple, Next, and Pixar, all the way up to his death a couple of months ago. And really, there was 5 main things that I pulled out of this book, and that were kind of weaved throughout the fabric of the book. Were 5 personality traits and 5 five traits that really define Steve Jobs. And I think one of those, the first one that really struck me, was his focus. It was his focus on the products, his focus on surrounding himself with A players at Apple, and really surrounding himself with people who weren't, as he calls, quote, bozos, but were top-rate talent. And this really resulted in building the world's most valuable company as of this year, as of August 2011. And Focus was absolutely essential for all of his products, and he instilled this all the way from the concept's ideation all the way down to its design, layout, marketing, packaging, everything, all the way up into the lighting on the stages of his presentations, it's absolutely fascinating to go through, from A to Z what he did. Another concept that I really thought was interesting was his ability to reinvent himself. So this is object number 2. So he reinvented himself multiple times. He was let go from Apple in 1986. He founded Next, which turned out to be a very unprofitable company, yet was still, Apple repurchased them in 1997, and really, I think from this, one of the most fascinating things I found was that he had such a prominent role at Pixar. I mean, he basically put that company on the map, and really the company that was its mentor and its forebear in Disney ended up buying Pixar in 2006, which basically became a situation where Disney bought Pixar. Yet Pixar retained all its top management, and basically that was a win for Pixar, and they become the world's #1 digital animation studio in the world. And really, I don't think Jobs gets enough credit for that, which is definitely highlighted in the book multiple times by Isaacson. And another interesting thing I thought that Jobs always asked, and he always asked of the board of directors and his managers, was, what are the next 10 greatest things we're going to do next? What industry are we going to reinvent next? Is it going to be textbooks? Is it going to be televisions? And a few years ago, he asked us questions: Is it going to be publishing, newspapers, magazines, that sort of thing? And those answers were certainly yes with the invention of the iPad. And I think what was on tap next for him, if he would have survived, was textbooks and televisions, in a similar way that he transformed the desktop computer, the mobile phone industry, the music industry, the publishing industry. So he absolutely was looking towards the future at every point and at every step of his career. And this was absolutely tantamount to what he did at Apple and at Next and at Pixar. And this kind of goes back to my first point. So the 4th point is his simplicity. Everything came down to just cutting away all the excess and leaving the consumer with the best possible experience he or she could have. And that went all the way down to the design of the circuit boards, to the color of the computers inside that only the engineers would see. The consumer would never see that. And he even would go so far as the iPhone was designed a certain way, and 6 months into basically its design, he totally scrapped that and wanted the screen to be overlaid evenly with the exterior, with kind of the casing of it. So that totally set that project back 6 months. But yet, despite losing money on that, setting the product launch back to 6 months, he totally boiled everything down to simplicity and wanted the user to have the best experience. And no matter if it resulted in lost profits, not angry customers, but in the end, my point being is that he really focused on simple products that users could really benefit from. And this was absolutely harped on again and again in the book. And one of the final points that has been thrown around a lot that's really becomes apparent in the book is his brutal honesty with his employees. He basically had this complex where he would tell his employees that something was shit or something was amazing. It was great. And he kind of had this binary way of looking at things that I've never seen or read about in any other leader, but it inspired a lot of people to do good work. It pissed off a lot of people, but ultimately it created it helped his reality distortion field, as a lot of people referred to his perception of things. Really inspired people and had them and inspired them to create amazing products and create the world's most valuable company. So again, Steve Jobs' book. Apologize that this review was a little longer than I intended, but it's 42 chapters across 571 pages. It's a very digestible read. It looks thick, but really I read the bulk of it in one day. So it's pretty easy, and again, Walter Isaacson does an excellent job of reviewing his life, and Jobs doesn't touch anything within this book. So this is all 100% kind of candid and behind the scenes look at who he was as a person and as a businessman, as a family man, as a friend. Just very interesting story of a fascinating guy. Hope you had a great weekend and have a great week. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.